Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So today's video we're going to be talking about Alliance Wars Season 19 rewards update, new defensive and offensive tactics, and a new solo event. So first and foremost, I want to make myself perfectly candid in case you are somebody who is very strapped for time. Most of it stinks, and by the looks of it, yes, the Season 19 is gonna be absolutely awful and disgusting. Now, the rewards update is great and a couple more things are nice, but addition of a new defensive tactic over there is just going to be so filthy. But yeah, let's just jump on the screen. I'm not going to read everything. Basically, there's a lot of cinematic talk, a lot of note. Let's just get straight to the business. Two least used defensive tactics have been scrapped, and Bulwark is getting another update. So the Dodge and Crush, I think, are scrapped, yes, and the Bulwark, yeah, the Dodge and Crush is scrapped. Bulwark, Rework. I'm not going to read the entire defensive tactic, but it does look like Bulwark is going to be quite significantly worse. However, I still predict that even though Float hasn't generated a good counter, even though Bulwark is buffed, we're going to be worrying about one defensive tactic and one defensive tactic in particular, and I wouldn't be expected if 12 out of 12 wars I face in upcoming season is going to come with this Stubborn. Is a new defensive tactic. Whenever a defensive defender attack misses, is evaded or dodged, they gain 1, 2, or 3 indestructible passives. 1 indestructible passives are removed whenever the attacker blocks a hit or is struck. So that means if opponent is indestructible, I need to take a hit in a block at the very least, or get hit in the face to remove these indestructible passives. Now, the scary part is obviously evaded or dodged, because that also implies simply dexterity mastery. So effectively, every single time you dex something, anything, opponent will gain 3 indestructible passives, and you will have to purposely take 3 hits on the block. And yes, we do have attacker tactics, and attacker tactics for the Stubborn is if attacker is defensive, their well-timed blocks grant a 15% perfect block chance for 10 seconds, stacking up to 2 times. So you're going to have a 30% perfect block chance, 15 to 30%, but it's still going to mean that you have 70% chance to take a full damage from that hit in your block, and it's something you're going to be doing a lot and often, and it just sounds like an absolute nightmare. Before I move on, discuss the rest of the defensive tactics, I just wanted to accent also how inclusive this defensive tactic is, because it affects all of the defensive tank, guard, and utility champions. So that will include Blade, that will include Darkhawk, that will include Dr. Doom, Ebony Maw, Emma Frost, Hyperion, it will include, I don't know, Juggernaut, Killmonger, Korg, MODOK, Man-Thing, Mr. Fantastic, Mallman, Nick Fury, Nightcrawler. It will include what's the name of the Buckethead? Nova, Proxima, Sentinel, Sorcerer Supreme, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Man, all of the Spider-Man basically. It will also include Thing and Champion, which I think you cannot see really here, but yeah, it will include Thing and Champion and Thor Ragnarok and both Ultrons and Venom and Vision Arcus and Void, and well, pretty much all of the worst defenders will be benefiting from this defensive tactic, and the offensive tactic will hardly give you any kind of ease of mitigating the damage. And the damage will be one thing, because damage we have seen in form of like Siphon a lot, kind of like another blocks and forced block damage. But the problem is also going to be that it distracts your gameplay, because every time you dodge a special attack, for instance, that's a projectile, something like that, well, you will either be starting to block them, or, but for instance, if opponent's special attack is unblockable because it's not uncommon, right, and you have to dodge it, and you do, that means that after dodging a special attack, there is not even any point of really going in to punish it, because first you need to take 3 hits on your block to get rid of it, and then you can hit the opponent, he's going to launch the next special attack, and it just sounds like an absolute nightmare. It definitely sounds like something I personally absolutely have no desire to play, but again, I'm going to try and keep an open mind. Maybe I'm missing something, maybe it's not going to be as bad, and maybe it's somehow magically fun, but I don't see it. I think it's a very mean, annoying, stupid, fun destroying design that will completely destroy the fluidity of the fight, and I don't understand how people come up with this shit. I think this will effectively be pretty much of a new era, just like we had an era of Siphon, just like we had an era of Flow. This defensive tactic alone is going to mean that we have a new era of never ever triggering dexterity and playing Alliance Wars without dexterity masteries and just being completely artificially disgustingly awful. That's at least what I expect so far. But anyway, so Flow does not remain to be changed. However, we do have offensive tactic now. If we're using control defenders of our own, basically whenever we throw a heavy attack, last hit of heavy attack reduces the potency of defender's power gain effects for 35% for 15 seconds, stacking up 3 times. Which I typically would be more upset because this does not realistically help much in most tricky scenarios where Flow is an issue, because Flow is an issue mainly in matchups where opponents are stun immune or debuff immune. And this offensive kind of counterpart implies that you have to absolutely spam your heavy attacks in order to be able to counteract the Flow. So it's not really going to work in the matchups that you need it the most, because if you cannot parry stun the opponent, for example, it's significantly much harder to punish or to actually land a heavy attack on your opponents, unless you're using like Dr. Doom, which also happens to be able to control it. No, wait, is he control? No, he's defensive. But so yeah, I don't even know who would properly benefit of this offensive tactic in like right circumstances against like stun immune control defenders. So yeah, no, I don't like these offensive tactics. In my opinion, are also quite huge letdown. They're kind of designed to counter the defensive tactics, but they're far inferior and far too weak to actually be kind of like beneficial or outweigh the negatives. And instead of having more interesting wars, we're just gonna have another season full of everybody running stubborn, and that's about it. So I don't know. I read it. I wanted to like it because I didn't like the initial things that they changed, the new nodes. And yeah, don't forget we're gonna have new nodes, ebb and flow, and all that fun stuff, which is also absolutely filthy. Rewards update's quite decent, as I mentioned, if you are like gold 2 and above. So if I jump to the rewards update bit here, we can see that basically first place in Master gets 40,000 6-star hero shards now, and Masters basically get 30,000 6-star shards. Platinum 1 gets 20,000 6-star shards. So it's a decent chunk of 6-star shards and an increase of tier 5 class catalyst. However, when you drop down to like gold 2 and gold 1, I don't really see any overly significant increase in rewards. So it's kind of like good to be an upper half here. But I think that anybody down here is getting quite hugely let down. Especially like if you're fighting, let's say, I don't know, silver 1, 3,500 5-star shards and 6,000 4-star shards. Now 35,000 5-star shards, because I have recently started a new account, are nowhere near well worth the effort, even if you finish at silver 1 for pretty much any account that's capable of playing Alliance or a decent level, I think. So I don't know. I think the rewards should have been, the reward increase is good for the top half, but bottom half should have definitely had way more 5-star shards, way more tier 2 alpha and stuff like that. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about the rewards update. Obviously it's extremely based on your personal perspective and where you lie. I think overall for top levels is decent, for bottom it sucks completely. Now what else? New titles and badges, I'll be honest, I couldn't care less about that. Hidden nodes, they are removing the hidden nodes for now. They are saying hidden nodes will make their comeback, but at least that is a good piece of feedback, which I could compliment Kabam on for definitely. And heck, I will compliment Kabam. That's very good that you listened about the hidden nodes, but it's very bad that you went ahead with the defensive tactics and offensive tactics, because everybody hates them. The new defensive tactic arguably could be the worst one yet, and there's just so much wrong. Then even though I can say positive thing about something, overall this whole thread announcement is overwhelmingly negative in my personal view, and I don't think I'll enjoy it. And the second bit of good news obviously is the increased timer to 5 minutes for challenger and expert maps, which is definitely well needed, and it's probably going to be extremely needed with that stubborn defensive tactic. And the new solo event, basically 28-day long solo events for that duration of the season. Basically, the solo event will start at the first day of season and will finish when the season finishes. However, that solo event, again, I don't want to be overly negative, but it's quite pathetic. So now if I disable the camera here, I'll put it make it a bit bigger here. Whoops, didn't mean to. So you can see that even for Uncollected and Cavalier players, the maximum, the best thing that you get is 1,000 5-star shards, which is laughable. Then it's like 10,000 loyalty. Okay, cool. 1 4-star hero crystal, 30,000 gold, 3-star hero crystal. So they're giving purposely, intentionally giving Cavalier and Uncollected players premium hero crystals and 3-star hero crystals. Now that I don't know, this reward level screams 2016 to me, not 2020. And this, in my personal opinion, serves as absolutely no incentive for anybody who's Uncollected or Cavalier to actually focus and play Alliance War and waste the items that they could use in AQ, or waste the boosts, or waste the units. So I think the solo event, again, I don't want to kind of like cry or whine too much, but it's just pointless, just not good enough, nowhere near good enough. Like 1,000 5-star shards for 28 days worth of effort was kind of like a bonus is shit. It's just shit. Like there's not much else I think anybody else can say. And yeah, so I think that solo event is extremely underwhelming, hardly deserves a mention. The removal of hidden nodes, good. They increased to 5 minutes, timer is good. New offensive tactics are lackluster and will hardly be useful. Now, a good thing is that if you are using the right champion, it's going to trigger in every single fight. But again, those benefits that you can gain here aren't all that great or amazing, I think. So, I don't know. I'm not too fussed that in some random easy fight, you're going to get extra block proficiency or something. I don't know. Defensive tactics. So, Flow is unchanged. Siphon is unchanged. Bulwark is buffed. Stubborn is going to be new king and new meta. And that Protect, I think, is quite pointless. I don't think it really does anything special. I don't think it's going to be used at all. It's insignificant design, especially put next to Stubborn. So yeah, no, it's shit. Like that's that's about as much I'm going to say. I'm going to put my camera up so you guys realize, well, can see my face, but yeah, it's just shit. Like, this is the new era, I think the announcement says. This is the new era. No, it fucking isn't. It's the same old era with the same old shit, just made worse. I hate kind of a new era is upon us. Like, fuck off. Like, seriously, what? How do you recognize a new era there? That got all of these champions with special attacks, you effectively will either have to block or will not be able to dex. And then you're going to have to take all of the hits and block. And Jesus motherfucking Christ. Whoever came up with this stupid tactic is definitely a sadist. But I think on this cheerful note, we're about done here for today. Let me know what you guys think about Alliance War Season 19. I personally think that Alliance War Season 19 is shaping to be by far the worst Alliance War season ever in Marvel Contest of Champions, because we're going to have a lot of mismatches due to the Alliance War rating system reset and the new type of matchmaking. We're going to have these new nodes and new maps that nobody's used to, and typically everybody dies to more whenever you have to face like new nodes and new fights and new different node combinations. So that in itself would increase the amount of times people die and how many items they use. This defensive tactic seems like an absolute sadistic maniac nightmare. I don't know, it just looks so horrible. And the rewards update is beneficial to the top half, which is cool. 5-minute timers. Just realistically, the reason why the timers are increased is because we will need the increased time, so that's gonna make Alliance War longer. I don't know. When it comes to Alliance War, I don't see kind of like, I mean, I'm still gonna remain in a Masters level alliance. I'm gonna try and like push with my alliance if I choose to do so for a season, because I committed to it and I want to experience it firsthand. But realistically, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm definitely not looking forward to it. I already expect it to be extremely frustrating experience, and I expect to be pissed off, and I expect it to cost a lot of items and be nowhere near worth the reward at the end of it, I guess. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know what you guys think. And yeah, for whoever remained this long in the video, please do comment in the comment section with hashtag you know it baby Yoda or hashtag season 19 will suck. But either way, as you are mesmerized by the beauty of this small, adorable creature, please go ahead, hit that like button, hit that sub button, hit all the good buttons, stay away from the bad ones, share this video with your alliance mates, ask them what they think, encourage them to come down to the comment section and comment, because all that stuff helps me out greatly, and I definitely do appreciate every single one of you watching or interacting with my videos. That being said, I'm gonna catch you guys soon, and see ya.